do you remember the first book or movie that did scare you, that made you close the book, or maybe gave you nightmares or trepidation once the sun went down?
It probably would have to be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and it was less, honestly, less because of what was actually written in them and more because of those illustrations. I'm sure
Yes.
everybody remembers those illustrations. I still I still can't look at them without kind of going like, whoever thought of this and put them into children's books, bravo. And also, what the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
They're
times.
so horrific. I know that they recently, a few years back, they re-released it with new artwork. And I don't know how everyone else feels. And the art is great. It's good, scary art, but it is
Not the same.
not as horrific as those original ones. And
No.
they were nightmare inducing, less the stories, more the pictures that accompanied them for me
Yeah,
too.
I know. And that was I I I was never, I mean, I feel like sometimes there's an attempt for some reason to soften things like that for
Mhm.
a newer generation, which I'm sure people have their reasons, but I was never traumatized by that. I was never like,
Yeah.
I wish that hadn't happened. No, I love that. I remember it years later. I liked when things like that would occur, and um yeah, it's somehow it becomes endearing rather than uh, traumatic. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you look back historically at the, many of the Disney movies, they were fairy tales that they took and sort of whitewashed well, yeah, what we know about Walt Disney, that's actually the perfect usage of the word, but I mean
Whitewashed
sterilized maybe
and
or censored
sugar-coated.
even.
Yeah,
And but those original fairy tales and the folklore and the legends that were oftentimes cautional tales that people told their kids, they were horrific, and they were focused on death and dismemberment and cannibalism and stuff like that. And so I think that it's a more recent development where we felt like we needed to tone things down a little bit for our kids.
yeah. If you want horror, look at the origins of things like Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, and
The Little
not
Mermaid.
even just fairy tales, nursery rhymes. Do you know what Ring Around the Rosie is about?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A
Black Plague.
very,
So, you know,
very dark.
yes, absolutely. But that's, I don't know, like, so kind of what the topic at hand is about a little bit is why do things like that appeal to us? I mean, they don't to everybody, because there's still sort of um, whatever you want to call it, a lower regard for things like that, or that people who like those sorts of things are, crazy, or well, maybe we are, who knows, but that
It's
there's something to be cautious about around people like that, or subjects like that, or whatever. And
yeah,
I've personally never felt that ever. So
yeah,
when I saw that was the way that gets regarded by some people, it makes you feel kind of like, well, what's the matter with this, or what's the matter with you, or what is it, right? Like, what is it?
yeah.